Ruh-roh. That's not good. Well, that's the third time it's tried that. Actually, my voltmeter's not showing very good. Well, that's weird because I've got plenty of voltage on that battery. Let's go check it out. Well, here I have my not even year-old battery. And I just confirmed. I don't know how I can do this. You can see it. I really need my clips. My clips would be better. So I've got almost 12.5 volts. So that's plenty to turn this thing over. I tried to find my records on the starter because I think it's a lifetime warranty too, but I could not. It's been many years. I'm gonna put a starter in it. Certainly can't hurt. So the first thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the negative battery terminal. And unfortunately my little thingies they're 5/16, but over the years they've gotten to where they don't they just kind of wallered out, so I kind of use my rice grips. And always make sure you take off the negative battery terminal. That way you don't get zapped. You don't short anything out. These are the stinking side terminals. Alright. One great thing about trucks. No jacks needed. Let's just slide under here and see what we're going to be doing. And if you can see that, here's your starter. All you're going to have to do is take these two bolts out. One bolt there, one bolt there. Disconnect the wire from the solenoid, which is up there, which is going to be a little tricky. I think that's going to be about it. But you're going to have to watch out and get some safety glasses or something, because you're going to be working under it and all this little plastic and stuff is going to fall off. You can tell, but there's a metal. That's the battery cable. Oh, I think the metal strap goes from the solenoid to the starter, so you're just going to have to get to that positive battery cable off of there. And then these two bolts. And I think it should come out over here. I hope. I'm pretty sure. I don't think these transmission lines or cooling lines are going to be in the way. Too bad. So let's get to it. And then go figure out the sizes and things, and I'll be back. Alright, the starter I have chosen to replace this with is not the top of the line, but it's basically the second in line. It's a Reman Advanced Auto Parts. $167 basically. I think it's $166.99. Boy, prices have gone up. These generally all have limited lifetime warranty, so when you buy them, make a copy or take a picture of your receipt, because that paper receipt's going to fade away on you. And like I tried with my radiator, I couldn't get the warranty on it because I couldn't read the thing. And sometimes the records don't go back that far. Anyway, so we manufactured in Mexico. This will also give you an idea of what the size, the sockets and wrenches you need. This is a 13 millimeter. Solenoid one's 8 millimeter. So I'll need those in there. I believe what I did the last time is take the bolts out, drop the starter down, and then let it pivot so I can get at these two terminals, because getting in there. You can't reach in here. And I don't think my arm has enough joints in it to get around in there, so I'm gonna put these down here. I believe those bolts can be 9/16. They're a little tight with a 14mm, and that's the equivalent. So kind of weird that they have different metric in SAE, but they're pretty close. So maybe the cable's not touching anything. I've been having trouble with these all the time, but that starter is old. Put myself in a known situation. I know the battery is less than a year old. This being, what is this, April of 23, so $167 in April of 23. Let's see what it goes for the next time. Alright, let me get back under there and drop those 2 bolts, I guess. Alright, if you're doing this out in the ground, I got a little kitty mat to use for nappy time. Children. Works pretty good. Slide up under there. Okay, this is the configuration I got. I got a short extension. I just happen to have a deep socket. Doesn't need to be 9/16. Pull one bolt and pull the other one, and this thing's going to drop down out of there. It's going to kind of lay on there, and I'm going to try to manipulate it around so I can get at those nuts. I just have to remember how they're configured, what their orientation is, which way they're pointing. So you can tighten them back up in that same orientation before you put it back up in there. I say wear safety glasses, and or I would always try to stay out from underneath whatever you're working on, because all that stuff's going to fall straight down into your face, and generally it falls right into your eyes. So you don't like greasy stuff in your eyes. So as this comes out, it's going to drop. So I'm going to grab a hold of it with my other hand, because it will drop out of there. And we'll try to manipulate it around a little bit. Alright, so pop it out. Ring gear right there. It'll slide out this direction. It's not going to be incredibly easy, but I think I can reach up in here with the ratchet and get both that solenoid wire with all the broken tape and crap on it that's falling off, and the positive battery cable, which is kind of hidden back around over there. You can see which direction it comes out with it laying in here like that. It kind of comes out in the, if I were to look at the back of it, 8 o'clock position or somewhere in there. Alright, let's see if I can get those things off of there. And so there's the configuration. The deep socket works really good in this case. On the ratchet, I got to push this thing up a little bit, hold it with one hand and push it the other, because there's not a lot of travel. That's coming off really hard. I don't know why it's so difficult, but it takes both hands. You got to kind of manipulate it between your two, holding that up and pushing that off at the same time. It's all the way back up on the other side. Where you saw that little nut is kind of a pain. Okay, it's the configuration. Get that battery cable off of here. We got the extension on there. And we gotta have both hands to hold this thing up once that comes off. I think that nut was a little loose, so that may be part of my issue, but the starter's been in here for many years, so it's not a hurt to change it out. And I know I got a good starter as well. Right. Alright, she's out. Looks a little bit different, huh? Got a big heat plate there, which I'm going to transfer because that's a heat shield. Looks like it's cracked right there. Take a look and see how that's mounted. See how it goes on there. You can say it's pretty well baked in oil. one's got a nice little drain on it, where that one does not for some reason. Looks the same to me. Let's see, what does this say? Stop. Before you return this part to the store, please call blah blah blah. That's if it doesn't work. They don't want you to take it back to the store. They want you to do something else with them. I don't know. Alright, let me see if I can get this heat shield off of here. Transfer it over there, and we'll get this sucker going back in. Well, just want to make note of something. No, it kind of looks the same way. Look at the head on this thing. It's keistered off to the side. They tightened it down. You can see where this little bracket sticks out farther than that, so it bent the head of the bolt. It looks like the same on that one. Must be the same manufacturer. That's just bizarro, man. I got a feeling this wasn't manufactured in the good old USA. Alright, so this nut's no big deal unless you lose it. So cap nut's 3/8. So this is an example of one hand not knowing what the other hand's doing. When they built this, they had enough sense to put a longer stud in it. They don't know what it's for, but they put that longer stud in it. As you can see, they screwed up the manufacturer in there, where they end up having to bend the head of the bolt, which puts that at risk for snapping off. Then they put these stupid little ridiculous screws in there and torque seal them, because they don't know final installation means you got to take them out. Why would you put some stupid little thing like that? Who on earth is going to have a wrench? Oh, 5/32 wrench. Who's going to have a 5/32 wrench that's going to fit that? Well, I happen to. This is ridiculous. But anyway, I'm going to make sure I got both hands to hold some pressure. I'm going to take both parts of that off. Even the other one's broken. I'm going to stick it in the same configuration. It'll be pried over against it. This is ridiculous. Alright, love this. So I'm trying to take the screw out. Took this screw out over here and got the bracket off it, and I'm trying to take the screw out over here, and I realize that that bracket's not going to go in there. So wait a minute. That is a through bolt. This one's not. Well, it's because this one's in this bushing over here. That one's buried in the grease. Couldn't see it. Little screw goes in there, which you don't get with it, so you got to take it off of this one. Still got to take that other through bolt off the other side. So this goes on there, even though it's broken. And the other part's going to go on the one in the back and on there. Jeez. No, I'm wrong. Same situation over here. It's got this other screw. It's not the through bolts, the 3 through screws, all covered in grease. So you got to take the 2 screws out of there to put them on here. So all 3 pieces of hardware plus the shield come off the old one and changed over to the other. Alright, well that's ridiculous, but there we go. What happened here? Well, I guess I twisted it when I twisted the thing too much. That's supposed to go over there. So you tighten that up. Oh, I bent that thing up. Alright, well, we didn't know it was broken, it'd be broken. Took the nuts off, threw them on the ground. Where they're going to go, slide that back in there. I'll take those with me, slide it up in there, see if I can get those things bolted up before I bolt the starter in there. Hopefully this will be quick and easy. Sure it will. Okay, slid it up there, kind of opposite of when it came out. Let's see, where is that? Well, it's kind of pushing up there. I'll have to see if that's going to stay where it goes. That's not straightforward, the battery connector. The solenoid wire was a little different. I had to very gingerly reach up in between here and put that lock washer on there. Same thing with the nut. I got it on with one finger, had to reach in with the other finger, other hand in there. Managed to get it on there. Tighten them up. The battery nut you want to tighten up pretty good. The solenoid wire you got to be careful of. You want to tighten it, but not too much, because it's just a little screw stuck in and soldered in the back of the solenoid, so you don't want to pop it loose, break it loose. Then it becomes a real pain in the butt to get off anyway, and then you've ruined your solenoid. So alright, that is hooked up. Now I have to pick it up, stick the nose in there a little bit, put those two bolts in, and we'll see where we are then. Alright, that went fairly easy. Popped it up in there, pushed it as far as I could, wobbled it around, managed to get this one started a little bit. I had to push on it with the socket. Once I got it snugged down, then the other one went in. It was giving me a little trouble. Wobble it around a little bit, make sure you snug both bolts up first before you tighten them. Somewhere I have my maintenance manual, but I'm in between houses, so I have no idea where it is, so I just tighten them up good and tight. It looks like my configuration. Looks like I can get in here if I need to, but it looks like it's pretty good. Far enough away. Heat shield's in place next to the exhaust manifold. Alright, the other thing you might do when you're down here is just take a quick peek around underneath. See what might be loose or whatever. Gotta get my four-wheel drive working yet. How much oil and grease you got coming out of places where it shouldn't be coming out of. This is a perspective you usually don't get, so while you're in here you should make use of it. Get a flashlight out and look around. See if there's anything amiss. Alright, so as far as that goes, we're going to hook the battery back up, and hopefully that'll be that. Alright, before I start this thing, I'm going to verify I still got good voltage. I did use a 5/16 1/4-inch drive ratchet socket on this negative terminal. It still works. Positive one I had to tighten up with the erase grips a little bit, using the big part of it, not the little part of it. Come on. Alright, on the end of the thing I got 12.59 volts. That should work. Okay, I'm about to try to start it. You know, did I mention that it clicked a few times before this? 2, maybe 3 times, and when it wouldn't start, where did it happen? Right here at my house. My luck is still holding on that. Let's see. Well, I would say that was successful. So, seeing the voltmeter drop when I tried to start it before was the extra drag on that starter trying to turn over, but it wouldn't. So, not only that, I'm now over 14 volts charging again. So, I don't know if I needed to tighten up those terminals again. They're a pain in the butt. But I'm gonna say that's a wiener. 319,677.8 miles. I will write that on my receipt. I'm going to make a copy of that receipt, put it in my limited lifetime warranty file. I have a whole bunch of parts. They don't like to see me coming because I've had this thing, just found out, I thought I had it in 2006. It's actually 2009. So it's only been, what is that, 3, 4, 14 years? Yeah, 14 years. Alright, I'm gonna say that's a wiener. Oh, you know what? Just because I can see it's charging on there. Just because I happen to have my voltmeter out. It's another one of those things. Got my voltmeter out. Why don't I just check my charging system even though I can see it on the voltmeter? Every opportunity you get. See if I can do this again. How did I do that before? Got the positive. Like this, but my battery runs out of my camera. Ridiculous. I need those clips. I really have alligator clips on. Sometimes I feel like this is too. There we go. Oh, you're killing me. Not supposed to be a comedy show. There we go. 1443. So, 14.5 volts. It's charging. Alternator's working good. Starting good. I'd say we're good. See you next time. Always forget something. Always forget something. Last thing, don't forget. Put your old starter back in its original box. Take it back to where you bought it, because this is a core that's worth 40 bucks. That core. So cost you $40 extra up front. If you can figure out the box, this is ridiculous. Look at this. They put the ears. You know, I got something to complain about. Just about everything. I'm just getting to be a this is crazy. Getting to be a grumpy old man. Alright, that's it for real this time. See ya.